Welcome back to Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches. I'm Noah.
And I am Richard, and I'm really behind the times. I'm sitting in the living room, I'm watching TV. Your brother walks in the room. He says, "What are you watching?" And I said, "Death Note." And he said, "Death Note? You're watching Death Note?" And I said, "Have you seen it?" And he said, "Oh yeah, years ago." He leaves the room. Your sister walks in. We have the same conversation. Like, well, how far behind the times am I? And then I'm sitting having lunch with your mother. And I said, I'm watching an anime. And she says, "Which one?" And I said, "Death Note." And she said, "Oh yeah, I saw that." I'm like, You, the most non-anime person in the world, your mother, she's seen Death Note. And then she pulled up your old Instagram cosplay page.
Yep.
And she showed me the picture of your Death Note cosplay. And so apparently she decided one weekend when I was, camping, that she would watch the whole thing. So I'm like the only person in the family. I think my dogs have seen Death Note.
Fun fact.
But I'm watching Death Note because of the comment of one of our viewers.
Viewer request from Zapred. Please do a review about Death Note. I just recently watched it and it was amazing. Well, Zapred, here you go.
Here we are.
And as a reminder to everyone else, we do take viewer requests.
So, yeah.
Leave them in the comments.
Now, I am not all the way through Death Note.
This is a part 1.
This is a part 1, and I've watched through episode 19, which is still season 1.
Ish.
Okay.
Yep.
And there's only 37 episodes available from what I can see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it'll be interesting to see where this goes. I have to tell you, first impressions, I'm intrigued, and I like the concept.
Okay.
All right, this idea that you can be given a notebook called the Death Note, and if you write the name of someone in it, you can cause them to die.
Yep.
And you can either cause them to die of a heart attack, or you can cause them. You can write down how they're going to die. At 12:01 on Thursday, Freddie Jones is going to step in front of
a truck
and get killed, and then this happens. It's a horrific concept.
Yes, it is.
And thank goodness that nothing like that exists. But it begs the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you had the power to kill somebody and get away with it, would you? Right?
Yeah.
And if you could convince yourself, as the main character of this show, or one of the main characters, Light.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the names are just driving me crazy. Who names their kid Light? Anyway. I was going to make a light bulb joke and I lost it. Anyway, if you
could say they weren't very bright.
You could.
But I'll see myself up.
Okay. Yeah, that train of thought left the station. Anyway, and I was not on board. Wow, talk about derailing yourself.
You're welcome.
So if you could convince yourself that you could use that power to better humanity, can you justify killing people?
Yeah.
And I think that is the central question that this show asks. And at least for the main character, Light, it gets answered relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm. Setup is usually pretty quick.
Yeah, it is. And so that off to the side, there is a mano-on-mano taking place in this show between Light and L, the secretive investigator that uses the police to help solve crimes. Not the police use him. He uses the police, right?
Yep.
To help solve crimes, and then they are equally matched for their brilliance, for their intelligence, etc. And so this is an excellent cat and mouse game.
Yes.
At least through the first 13 episodes.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know what happened at episode 13. It could be that I was really tired and I fell asleep on the couch and missed a critical part that I didn't go back and rewatch. It could be that this just got too confusing for me, because you get the anime action, but then you get these little slides that are inserted with all the rules of the Death Note. What you can and cannot do with this, and the fact that there is a Shinigami, a death god, that follows you when you have the Death Note. And the Shinigami can be involved in the killings and the different things that take place. It's a little dark. It's visually hard to look at. I've discovered I'm not really a fan of a lot of the anime
art style.
And it's got a 70s feel to it, where they used as few frames per second as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Which is a production cost issue. The more frames per second, the smoother the artwork, the better the whole thing is. Or better to look at, I should say. The easier to look at. But I can look past all of that. Ryuk, the god of death that follows light, is this really twisted cross between Scarecrow and the Joker.
Yes. And my favorite character in the show.
Is he your favorite character?
It's just fun. He's just there for a good time. Boys, go lay down.
So, I really have enjoyed the cat and mouse. After episode 13, we get into this addition to the storyline of corporate executives who are using a different Death Note to kill off competitors, to improve their business, and it's this curveball that's thrown into the middle of the storyline.
Yeah.
And it takes on a soap opera-ish feeling.
Yeah.
It's like The Days of Our Lives, evil style.
Yeah.
At the same time, I want to finish this series. I want to say I'm 19 episodes in. Yeah. I'm invested.
You're invested.
I'm going to see this.
When you told me how many episodes in you were, I was like, oh well, he doesn't hate it.
If I hated it, I would not have gotten through 5.
Yeah.
Right. And instead, I was sitting in a store during some downtime, and I just had it running, and I just kept going through it, and I liked it. Now, I am watching the Japanese version with English subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
I looked for an English dub.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be easier to understand, but I couldn't find one. And it was also because I was doing some manual labor where my eyes kept moving up and down from the screen.
I will say the English dub is notorious for, you've seen this, the part where he's under investigation, and he's got the little TV in the potato chip bag.
Yes.
Yeah, those lines in the English dub are super cheesy.
Okay.
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
It's super cheesy. But that's about all I know about the English dub.
Well, so you know me. What appeals to me about this are questions that just make you think.
Yeah.
Like if Light believes that he can make an improved version of the world where if he gets rid of criminals, then the world will be a better place.
Yeah.
Right. And then he states that he wants to be a god.
Yeah.
Right. And it's
the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
I wasn't gonna say that, and I hadn't thought of that one.
Well,
but
if you look at it, he starts off as like, look what I could do with this, and then the power gets to him. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and insert 15 other cliched common turn of phrases here. But
they all apply.
They all apply.
He
starts off like, I can improve the world, but then I'll rule it as a god.
Well, it's the arrogance of intelligence.
It is.
And every once in a while you meet someone who is super smart and super arrogant at the same time. Mm-hmm. And they are not only obnoxious, but they can be dangerous.
Yeah.
And
And I think that's what at least I enjoy about the parts that you have watched so far, is that the catch and mouse game has a second layer to it, because Light is not as smart as L, and you figure that out almost immediately. L is way more intelligent. The difference is Light is just smart enough to keep up, and he has the advantage.
I did not get that feeling.
I got that feeling immediately. You've seen the tennis match?
I did see the tennis match.
Yeah, they are trying to outthink each other.
Yes, they are.
Light is relying on the fact that L needs proof. And Light knows that L needs proof in order to get a conviction. So he knows that as long as he can withhold evidence, he can stay ahead of L. But he knows that L knows that he is.
Right.
You know, L that. So it's
it's a typical showdown where they both know the truth and they both know what the other one's after, and it's this, you know, who can outwit the other person.
Yep.
L has a Bruce Wayne quality to him. Super intelligent, unlimited resources. Of course, in his case, we don't know where the money comes from. We don't know where the financing is, the lifestyle. Is this his personal fortune? Is he the heir to a position? Because in about episodes 18 or 19, he starts introducing the concept of Light taking over the L title.
Yeah.
So L is a title. I don't think we've learned his real name. Which is critical to the course of the story, because if nobody knows his name, then you know they can't reveal it. There's a detective series trick. You see it in every television show that's a whodunit, every movie that's a whodunit, every novel that's a whodunit. The truth is hinted at early in the episode, and then you take 47 different detours, and then they come back to it later, hoping that everybody forgot it.
Yeah.
But you can't pull the gun out unless you've established the gun.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
Check out.
So episode 12, 13, somewhere in that range, the idea of Shinigami is brought to L's attention. And he reacts with shock and what looks like genuine fear. So he's clearly aware of at least the superstition behind them, if not aware of the reality of them. I don't think the phrase Death Note comes up. But,
I don't think so.
But in all the subsequent episodes, it's not mentioned. But you know that he's too smart to have forgotten it.
Yep.
So that was the moment where I sat and said, okay, they're going to take us down a whole bunch of different avenues before they bring us back, because L's reaction was too strong to have him forget it.
Yeah. Well, it's also, that would be, because this show is commonly divided into the first half of the show and the second half of the show. The first half of the show, especially with that, it has a good, strong horror vibe to it.
Yes, it does.
Like, and not in like the in your face, like I'm scared. It's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Type of thing. Did you see the FBI agent storyline?
Yes, I did.
You should have seen that.
Yes, I did.
That final shot,
I know,
sticks with you.
Yeah,
And
yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So it's one of those scenes where it's like you've got this person who is not fazed by anything. He's taking into account everything that he possibly can. He's trying to figure this out, and when the solution presents itself, a possible solution, and it's, for him, it's Occam's razor, which is pretty sure it's Occam's razor, where the simplest solution is more often than not the correct solution.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah.
And he pieces it together, and that's a bomb to drop on someone who is as rational minded as he is, that there's this force outside of anything that I can control. I can't do anything about it. It's like being faced with, the Grim Reaper standing right here in front of me. What are you doing? Go away. Not today.
You have the wrong address.
No, we had our meeting Tuesday.
Right, that's right. So, the what else comes to mind as I've been watching this? The whole bunch. They make references to heaven and hell, but it's very definitely not the Judeo-Christian heaven and hell.
No, Japan kind of seems to take those as concepts and just kind of throw them in there.
Right. Because
Death Parade does the same thing.
Do they?
Death Parade's an anime where people who... It's kind of essentially purgatory, where people who die show up in, like, a hotel, and then they compete in games to see what... And there are judges there who determine whether they go to heaven or hell based off how they play the game. Which is an interesting concept, but it falls off. But...
Okay.
But to that point, yeah, they just kind of generally use the concepts of good people go to heaven, bad people go to hell.
The hell, gotcha. Well, so Ryuk made an interesting comment. He said that if Light would be the only one left with a bad personality if he successfully killed all evil people.
This is why I love you. He is fantastic. He loves apples.
And he does love apples. He, of all people, complains that something was creeping him out.
Yeah,
I'm looking at that artwork. I'm looking at that artwork and I'm thinking, dude, have you seen a mirror? Yeah. Every time he's on screen, those eyes. Oh my goodness.
Ryuk's just there. He's just like, I'm here to see what happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm bored.
And
I want to see.
Kind of stuck.
Which is another element of, like, you've got this entity that's just bored, and its boredom leads to mass slaughter.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care. He's just like,
well,
we'll see.
I meant that, you meet the police chief and you realize the police chief is Light's father. And
Thanks, bud.
And I thought to myself,
that's really loud.
Hey, police chief, you're raising a sociopath. How'd you do that? Because his son is just, a cold-blooded, ruthless killer. Now, I had to laugh. There is a scene where Light decides that he's going to be a normal 17-year-old. So on camera, he starts looking at a Japanese porn magazine. Yeah. And then he puts it away, saying he's got to act normal. Yeah, normal 17-year-old isn't going to put it away. But we're not going to get into that. Just a thought that crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Gaining, the chief of police says, gaining the power to kill people is unlucky evil. No matter how you use it, nothing gained by killing people can bring true happiness. And I think he makes that comment in front of his son.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't register with his son.
Nah.
Did the chief of police teach his son any morals or values at all?
You mean, if you want to read into it, what is the stat? Is it like 1 in 20 people are born with psychopathic or sociopathic tendencies? It just depends on the environment.
Gotcha.
Well, I think getting that just right in front of you is a drastic change of environment that might trigger those tendencies.
So what was the girl's name? She had so many of them. Misa. You get this curveball thrown in there when you get a second Death Note carrying person.
Yep.
And the knowledge of how to kill a Shinigami.
Yeah.
All right. Now, are all female anime characters, I know they're drawn the same, but are they all as obnoxious?
Not quite.
In the high-pitched, squeaky,
no,
love-struck?
No, there are tropes.
Okay.
There are tropes. She is a trope.
Okay.
I don't remember. They're called deres, and it's just a different version. Doing some research today.
Oh, apparently we are. Clickety, clickety,
clickety, clickety, clack, clack. Technically a yandere. I guess they're technically a yandere, and a yandere, which is the one that most people know, is it's an anime character archetype that a character, usually a girl, who has an obsessive and possessive side in regards to their crush, ready to use violence and threats.
Okay.
And murderous means to maintain an exclusive bond with said crush.
While looking adorably cute at the same time.
Yeah, it's a trope. It exists. Welcome to the world of anime.
Yeah,
they're not all that way. Obviously, the FBI agent is an example of
Yeah. I really
lot.
wanted to see
There's
that character survive.
there's a lot of there's a lot of tropes like that. Like I said, a yandere is a type of dairy,
Right.
so there's multiple types,
Gotcha.
but they're not all treated the same.
The
that.
she discovers Misa discovers that the way to kill a Shinigami is by making them fall in love, and her comment is, "What a beautiful way to kill." There is a ruthlessness and a cold-bloodedness in that is stunning.
Yeah.
Light makes the comment, "This is the first time I've ever wanted to hit a woman," and I immediately started thinking of Bill Burr, because he's got that comedy routine where he says, "What do you mean there's no reason to hit a woman? There's 17 off the top of his head. You just don't do it." If you haven't seen that, you gotta find that on TikTok or Instagram.
Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Saying what everyone's thinking.
Bill Burr is hysterically funny. But so there's a part. Clearly I have to watch the rest of this, and there will be a part 2. We will let everybody know, where I get to. I was really enjoying everything up until about episode 13, 14.
Yeah,
the last
that
4,
sounds about
5
standard.
are really starting to bog down. I am confused about one thing, and I don't know if you can answer this.
Let's try it.
Misa has lost her memory of everything. Did Light lose his memory in the manipulation of everything?
So what you're talking about is, so you're at the point he was in jail?
Yeah, he's in jail, and then he goes and he joins and he's handcuffed now to...
He gives up the Death Note. So yeah, one of the things that they talk about is that if you willingly give up the Death Note, you will have no memory of it or ever using it, and all memories associated with using it.
So right now in these last 5 episodes, then, he doesn't have memory of it.
Yes.
Oh,
and that
okay.
begs the question, is he
right.
currently innocent? Because he has no memory of it. As far as he's aware, he's completely innocent because he's not the one who killed him. He's back to how he was before he got the Death Note.
Because there's a little blurb, I'm watching this on YouTube, and there's a little blurb underneath one of the titles that says Light and Misa have lost their memories, and I think that's one of the episodes where I might have drifted off to sleep. Now, it's not a good sign when I fall asleep in the middle of watching a show.
Yeah.
That means the show has either failed to catch my attention anymore, or I'm just so stinking tired. I shouldn't be watching it. But I am looking forward to seeing the rest of it. And that means that, Death Note's pretty good. So, viewer whose name I didn't catch when Zaprid. One, thank you for the suggestion. The minute I saw it, I said, "Yeah, I'm going to do that," and I surprisised him.
I was
with
shocked.
It. Well, this whole world of anime, outside of Speed Racer, cut me some grace here, people, is new to me, and but I, and I'm looking forward to continuing the One Piece reading, because I've had to stop that for about a week. Yeah. So I have to go pick up One Piece and keep reading that again. Yeah. There'll be more One Piece content. But yeah, Death Note, pretty cool.
All right.
It's new, it's fresh, it's a whole different style from what I'm normally, doing, and I appreciate the suggestion and the newness.
All right, there you have it. initial reactions to Death Note. Remember, please keep spoilers out of the comments if you would. It is just helpful.
We love your comments, we really do, and we encourage you to leave your thoughts on Death Note, but if you could leave your thoughts on Death Note through the end of episode 19 only,
Yeah.
be really
Roughly. So you're at the point where he's handcuffed to light.
Yeah, you see.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So about up to that point,
Right.
we talk about all we want.
And it's just it's fun, and they killed off some characters. I really would have liked to have seen the FBI agent survive. I really wanted to see his fiancée survive, because that would have been a tremendous battle of wits to have her working at the same time as Elle, and seeing Light try to juggle the two of them. That would have been really good.
That would have been cool. Oh, it does serve the purpose of showing how cold-blooded he is, though.
Absolutely, it does. Yes,
ruthless he is.
The and then there was one other thought. One of the reasons, and I asked about the Misa character and the stereotype, the stereotypical anime girl. Is there one? I was sitting there watching this, and I was thinking of your mother. Okay, Noah's mother, not only my best friend, but she's incredibly smart. She's really a well-educated. She's far smarter than I am. And when I see a character like Misa, it's an insult to people like your mother. It just is.
Don't worry, they aren't completely sexist in Japan. I'm joking.
Oh, you.
No, they do have some tropes like that.
Right.
They do give some writers do give their female characters a lot of credit.
And
they do write them really well.
That'll be good to see.
They not to bring it up, try not to, but back to One Piece, the one that you said looked like a BDSM.
Yeah.
Incredibly smart.
Well, I haven't met her yet, and I'm looking forward to it. So yeah.
Incredibly mature, incredibly smart.
That will be a pleasure.
Yeah.
That will be a pleasure.
Cool.
All right.
Death Note. Leave your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for more content like this. Leave your suggestions on movies and TV shows that you want us to talk about down there. We will get to them when we can.
Oh, yeah. I'm always looking for thanks for the suggestions.
Yeah, we love suggestions.
All right. We'll see you next time on Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches. Thanks for tuning in.